US wants to stay in front of China with hypersonic weapons able to travel at 5 times the speed of sound and destroy targets with a kinetic energy warhead. Air Force weapons developers expect to operate hypersonic intelligence, reconnaissance and surveillance drones by the 2040s, once scientific progress with autonomy and propulsion technology matures to a new level. The advent of using a recoverable drone platform able to travel at high altitudes, faster than Mach 5, will follow the emergence of hypersonic weapons likely to be operational in the mid-2020s, according to the Air Force Chief Scientist Geoffrey Zacharias. Describing the trajectory of hypersonic technology in terms of stair steps, Zacharias said incremental progress will require decades of continued technological development. While unmanned hypersonic surveillance flight is on track for the 2030s, launching recoverable hypersonic drones is not expected to be possible until the 2040s, Zacharias said. Since hypersonic vehicles can travel in a parabola-type flight path, they rise very high up into the atmosphere to reach hypersonic speeds before returning to lower altitudes. Developing recoverable drones is much more challenging given the level of autonomy and re-entry needed for hypersonic vehicles to descend and perform ISR missions. A booster sends it into the atmosphere, and then it dives down to its target, Zacharias said. A re-entry vehicle would need to be maneuverable with sufficient wing area so it can avoid counter-missiles. We need to design the chamber and make it stable to allow for maneuver. The advantages of hypersonic ISR drone flight are multifaceted. You could fuel one of these to go for 1,000 miles in 10 minutes. It speeds up the kill chain, he said. Hypersonic drones could quickly reach long-range targets to perform a variety of missions such as testing enemy air defenses, surveillance missions and even precision strike operations. These drones could identify faraway targets much faster, while ensuring that manned aircraft remain at a safe distance. While today's cruise missiles travel at speeds up to 600 miles per hour, hypersonic weapons will be able to reach speeds of Mach 5 to Mach 10, Air Force officials said. A weapon traveling at hypersonic speeds, naturally, would better enable offensive missile strikes to destroy targets such as enemy ships, buildings, air defenses, and even drones and fixed-wing or rotary aircraft depending upon the guidance technology available. Last year, the Air Force launched several hypersonic speed test flights as part of a joint program with Australia. Some of the remaining scientific challenges to sustaining hypersonic drone flight include developing an ability for vehicles to operate at very high temperatures, Zacharias said. The Air Force will likely have high-speed, long-range and deadly hypersonic weapons by the 2020s, providing kinetic energy destructive power able to travel thousands of miles toward enemy targets at 5 times the speed of sound. Airspeed makes them much more survivable and hard to shoot down. If you can put enough fuel in them that gets them a good long range, you are going roughly a mile a second, so if you put in 1,000 seconds of fuel you can go 1,000 miles, so that gives you lots of standoff capability, Zacharias told Scout Warrior in an interview. While much progress has been made by Air Force and Pentagon scientists thus far, much work needs to be done before hypersonic air vehicles and weapons are technologically ready to be operational in combat circumstances. Right now we are focusing on technology maturation, so all the bits and pieces, guidance, navigation control, material science, munitions, e-transfer and all that stuff, Zacharias added. Zacharias explained that, based upon the current trajectory, the Air Force will likely have some initial hypersonic weapons ready by sometime in the 2020s. A bit further away in the 2030s, the service could have a hypersonic drone or ISR, intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, vehicle. I don't yet know if this is envisioned to be survivable or returnable. It may be one way, Zacharias explained. A super high-speed drone or ISR platform would better enable air vehicles to rapidly enter and exit enemy territory and send back relevant imagery without being detected by enemy radar or shot down. By the 2040s, however, the Air Force could very well have a hypersonic strike ISR platform able to both conduct surveillance and delivery weapons. He added, a weapon traveling at hypersonic speeds, naturally, would better enable offensive missile strikes to destroy targets such as enemy ships, buildings, air defenses, and even drones and fixed-wing or rotary aircraft depending upon the guidance technology available.